الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه ومن اهتدى بهداه إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد, dear brothers and sisters, this is our new lecture, and we're still talking about the chapter of charity, zakat, regular charity. Okay, so وعن علي بن أبي طالب رضي الله عنه قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم: إذا كانت لك 200 درهم وحال عليها الحول ففيها 5 دراهم، وليس عليك شيء حتى يكون لك 20 دينارا، وحال عليها الحول ففيها نصف دينار، فما زاد فبحساب ذلك، وليس في مال زكاة حتى يحول عليه الحول. رواه أبو داود وهو حسن، وقد اختلف في رفعه. By the authority of Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anhu, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, if you had 200 dirhams, which is 200 silver coins, and a a lunar year passed on it, so you have on it 5 dirhams. That means you have to give 5 dirhams from 200, and you are not supposed to give anything if you have 20 dinars, which is 20 golden coins, and a full lunar year passed on it. You are not supposed to give except 1/2 dinar. And you can count anything after that according to the number that you have. And there is no charity on any type of money until a full lunar year passes on it. Okay, I translated from by myself without going back to the translation that I have. Now, this hadith is narrated by Abu Dawood in his book. And it means that if you have silver money or any silver, pieces of silver or whatever, and when you weight it, it's 200 dirhams, therefore you have to give 2.5% from its weight. Of course, there are many ahadith that prove that. Now, what is a dirham exactly? How, if we count the dirham, the silver dirham, nowadays in our new type of weights, how much is it? There are several opinions about that, but the most accepted opinion according to the Hanafis is 3.5 grams, and according to the other scholars, it's 2.52, which means that 200, it's either 500 95 or 600. Some scholars say 600 grams of silver. So if you have 600 grams of silver, you are supposed, and a full lunar year passes on it, you have to give zakat on that money. The hadith says that it's obligatory to give zakat on gold as well. What is the nisab of gold? It's 20 dinars. Now the dinar, it can be called mithqal, mithqal. So mithqal is dinar. It's the same meaning. And according to the Hanafis, it's 5 grams of pure gold. And according to the others, it's 3.6 grams. According to the book that uh, I'm reading right now, but other scholars say give another rate, which they say it's 4 points quarter or something like that, 4 point quarter. Okay. So anyway, if we say that, therefore they say it's nearly 80 grams of gold, pure gold. If we say 20 dinars, and every dinar it's 4.25, it's going to be either 80 grams or 85 grams of gold. Now, the question is that nowadays, no one uses golden coins or silver coins anymore. So therefore, what do we say about the money that we have? The dollars, the reals, the euro, all these types of money. Are they considered as money that we have to give? The banknotes, these banknotes that we have, according to uh, the majority of scholars nowadays, they say that you have to give, of course, money on these coins, and therefore, how do we count it? Do we count it according to the gold, or we count it according to silver? There are scholars that say, well, if you count it according to silver, that would be more better for the needies, poor guys. But if you count it according to gold, that would be more easier for people of money. So there are two schools about that. Some say that we have to give it according to silver, some say according to gold. I choose the opinion that says it has to be given by gold. So therefore, you go and see how much 80 grams of gold, pure gold, not the gold that is mixed with with the other types of iron or whatever. We're speaking about the pure gold. How much 80 grams are, and then if your money reaches to that rate and you leave it for 1 year, therefore you have to give zakat on it. Okay? Who is responsible to give zakats? And is zakat supposed to be only for adult people, or even if we have children, they have to give, or the responsible for their money has to give zakat on that? Okay, Hanafis say no. Children don't have to give zakat because they are children. They're not responsible. Like the same thing, they're not responsible to pray, to fast, to do all these types of things. So therefore, no zakat on their money. The majority say no, zakat is on money. It's the responsibility to give zakat on that money, no matter the responsible or the owner of the money is mature, adult, or still a child, even a baby. Okay? And this means that if you have debts, which means that you owe people money, you are asking people to give you your money. So you have to count it, and it's part of your money. It's not a part, you're responsible to give its zakat, not the one who took it from you, because he took it, but he's going to give it back to you. So he doesn't count it, but you count it. There some uh details. We might speak about them later, inshallah. Okay. The details is actually if people agree about your money and there is a deadline to give your money again, and you are sure that your money is going to come back to you, you count it. But in case that someone rejected your money, or he doesn't have any deadline to give your money again, and you don't know, you might get your money, you might not get your. So in this case, you don't count it. You don't count it. Okay? And there are some details between other madhab about that. We're not going to speak about it right now. This hadith means that there's no zakah unless a full lunar year passes on the money that you possess. This is the opinion of all scholars from all schools, which means that these are two conditions that you have to have so that you can pay your zakats, which means that uh, you have to have the the nisab, and one lunar year has to pass. Now, many people nowadays don't count their money according to the Arabic or the Hijri year, the lunar year, and they go counting it according to their calendary with the Gregorian uh, calendary. And that's wrong. That's solar year. And in the beginning of the year, it might be close to each other with the lunar year. But after a few years, it'll differ. It'll change because the solar year is not like the lunar year, and there's difference between the days. So therefore, I would like you to take care of this and to count your money according to the lunar year, the Hijri calendar. وللترمذي عن ابن عمر من استفاد مالا فلا زكاة عليه حتى يحول عليه الحول عند ربه وراجح وقفه. He says that Tirmidhi narrated by the authority of Abdullah ibn Umar al-Khattab that he said anyone who gains money so he doesn't have to pay any zakat on it until a full year passes on it. This is hadith that at-Tirmidhi narrated. And scholars say it's not from the words of the Prophet ﷺ, but it's from the words of Abdullah ibn Umar al-Khattab, but it's the same as the hadith that passed before, which means that it's similar to the hadith, the previous hadith. This hadith means that when you get money, you gain money, you don't have to pay any zakat on it, except if a full year passes. And when he says here money, it means any money. But because we know that it's money that reached nisab, so it's a specific money, not any money. And this had been discussed before, so you have to put it in your mind. So therefore, if you have money and it's not nisab, it's less than nisab, no zakat on it unless it becomes nisab and a full year passes on it. So this is clear. Now, if you have money and, for example, you had extra wealth, not more than money, say wealth, and it's the same as you had before, which means you have camels, and you had some camels before that started having new or extra small camels, or big camels, you bought it, you inherit it, or it was fertilized from the previous money that you have. So what are you going to do? If it's from the money that you have, which means if you have animals, camels, cows, rams, or you had a trade and you bought and you sold something, so therefore it's continuous, which means you carry on. It's the same as you had before. Okay. But if it's not from it, it's from something else. You got it by a gift, an inherited. You inherited uh, something like that. You got it from a battle booty, anything like that. So therefore, in this case, it's a new money that needs a uh, new zakat, new year. It needs a new year to count. But there is a condition there that it has to have to be nisab. If it's less than nisab, no zakat on it. That's it. And this is what majority of scholars say. Now, if you have nisab in your money, you have cows, camels, whatever, or money, normal money, and then you got a gift or an inheritance or whatever. So it's the same as the money that you have, and you have nisab. What are you going to do here? So the Hanafis say, well, you count it as if it was from your previous money. So it's the same. Actually, this opinion is more easier than the other opinion. Imam Malik Shafi'i Ahmad rahimahullah said that this is not the same nisab or hawl. It has to have a new hawl, which means it's not considered as a money that you need to uh, have from it money, which means it needs to have a new counts. Okay? Uh, but Imam Malik said if it was from the flock, you count it as if it was continuous from the flock. But if it was from something else, it has its own counts. For me, the most easiest opinion here to count and to deal with is the Hanafi opinion. Is the Hanafi opinion. Okay. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad. There is here a rule, a rule. And people speak here about if you have a house that you earn, but actually you rent that house, or you rent a car, or you have a faculty, not faculty, no, how do you call it? Faculty or whatever that produces things. You see? So in this case, what do you do? If you gain money from a house that you rent or from a car that you rent, which means you have the car, you have the house. In this case, this is considered as new money. No zakat unless you possess the money and it becomes nisab and 1 year passes on it. Anything except that, no nisab, no zakat. And anyone who tried to say something else, that's a mistake. That's something wrong. Because some people nowadays say, well, all these guys give money, gain money, so that we have to tell them to give zakat from all what they do. And that's actually a wrong or a false opinion. وعن عمرو بن شعيب عن أبي عن جده عبد الله بن عمرو رضي الله عنه قال إن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم من ولي يتيما له مال فليتجر له ولا يتركه حتى تأكله الصدقة. رواه الترمذي الدارقطني إسناده ضعيف ولو شاهد مرسل الحديث عند الشافعي رضي الله عنه. This hadith is a bit weak. It's not continuous. So therefore, the hadith says if you have orphans and you're responsible for their money, you're responsible for the orphans' money. So put that money in trade. Go and make trading with it. Lest that the charity would finish it. Because every year passes, you take from it money for the charity, for the zakat. Take from the zakat, it'll finish. At least it'll get lower and lower until it reaches to the nisab. So here it says that the responsibility on the money, it's not on the person. And anyone who is dealing with the money is responsible for giving the zakats. Okay? So this means you have to fertilize orphans' money so that you take care of it and you increase it, lest that it would decrease until he grows up and he doesn't find any money anymore. Okay? This is very important. You're responsible for his money. You have to increase his money so that he would find it. And this is in the Quran, verse number 5, Surah An-Nisa, وَارْزُقُوهُمْ فِيهَا وَاكْسُوهُم, and provide them from that money and let them dress from it. This hadith shows us that okay, are you with me? So this means that zakat is, what is this? ولا تؤتوا السفهاء أموالكم التي جعل الله لكم قياما وارزقوهم فيها واكسوهم وقولوا لهم قولا معروفا. Yes. Okay. That's what it's for. Okay. When it says orphan, who's orphan? Orphan is the child that is less than uh, puberty age. But if he reaches puberty age, he's not considered as orphan anymore. This is in Islam, who is considered as an orphan. Sometimes you find somebody who says, well, I'm an orphan and I don't have my father or my mother or whatever, and he is 20 years old. 20 years old is not an orphan, or else I'm an orphan too. I lost my dad and I lost my mom. That's so ridiculous and funny because an orphan is only that child that lost his mom or his dad, especially the mother. Because when he grows up, he's not going to find who is going to take care of him. And, you know, so therefore, now the Hanafis and all people of Kufa, they say that zakat is not obligatory on the money and the money is not no zakat on the money on anything that you possess, it's money or what is similar to it. No zakat on that money for the child and the mad guys. Somebody who's mad, somebody who's a child. And from those, they got several narrations, but most of them are not authentic. Most of them are not authentic. And even this hadith, subhanAllah, Hanafis say, well, this hadith is not authentic as well. And there's a hadith that says, uh, the pen is risen up for my nation. رفع القلم عن ثلاثة, except three, yeah. The pen is risen up on three guys. And these three guys are النائم حتى يستفيق, the guy who's asleep until he wakes up, and المجنون حتى يستيقظ, حتى يعني the mad guy until he gets cured from his madness. So والطفل حتى يبلغ, and the child until he reaches puberty. So these are three guys. The pen doesn't write anything on them. So why should they give their zakat and they aren't even asked to do anything? Hanafi said, well, this hadith is weak, it's not authentic, and we have other narrations that prove that. But actually, hadith is not weak. It's from the متفق عليه. Yeah. Okay. الدعاء للمزكي, who gives you the money. Okay, wait a second. وعن وعن عبد الله بن أوفى ابن أبي أوفى رضي الله عنه قال كان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إذا أتاه قوم بصدقتهم قال اللهم صل عليهم, اللهم صل عليهم. He prays for them. Uh, this hadith عن بقية بن الوليد, عن عبد الله بن أبي أوفى رضي الله عنه قال كان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إذا أتاه قوم صدقتهم قال اللهم صل عليهم. متفق عليه مع بقية السبعة إلى الترمذي. First of all, it's sunnah to It's sunnah to pray for the ones who give you, take, take, come and take the money for it. It's sunnah to pray for them. And this is what you have to deal with. There's another hadith where it said, كان إذا أتاه قوم بصدقة قال اللهم صل عليه. It was used that when people come to the Prophet ﷺ and give him their money, he would tell them, Allahumma salli alayhi. Oh Lord, or oh Allah, pray on them. Pray Allah on them. Of course, this is Allah, oh Allah, pray on them. It's a type of praising them and praying for them. Okay? And when we say Allahumma salli alayhim, as-salah, which is prayer from Allah, Allah is not going to pray on the dead guys. He's going to put mercy and honor them. He's going to put mercy and honor. Okay? Okay, this means that you have to be kind to those guys that are gonna give you the zakats. The responsible has to be kind and good for people. Okay? Is everything clear? Is everything clear? Okay. Very good, very good. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
وعليكم السلام.
Can I ask a question now or wait till the end?
Yeah, you can ask.
Yeah, what you mentioned about the orphan, that their money should be invested so that it grows and you pay zakat on them. But if that's not done, or if you have children who have money which has reached nisab, and it's not invested, then what is the the zakat according to the non-Hanafi schools is still eligible, is still due on that, right?
Yeah, according to them, it's something that you didn't do, so you have to do it.
So if that happens and eventually it gets down to the level of nisab, that is what they would say according to those schools, that's you still do it.
You expect every year how many money that you have to give from it. And you actually have to invest the money so that you don't lose the money. They don't lose their money.
Yeah, but not everybody, does that necessarily. Some people may not be able to do it, or if it's women or children, they don't know. Not everybody does that necessarily. So some do. And
well, it's an advice. It's not obligatory to invest money.
Yeah.
But the obligation here is, why did he mention this hadith? He mentioned it to say that you have to give zakat from the money, even if it's orphans' money, which means the children who are less than puberty age, it's the responsibility for their owners to give the money, to give the zakat. You see?
Yeah.
This is the idea from this hadith. Now, the other part is investing the money. it's an advice.
Mm-hmm.
It means it's preferable to do that so that the money doesn't get less than the sum. If it gets less than the sum, that's it. There's no
Mm-hmm.
zakat on it anymore. But they're losing. They
Yes.
lost a lot of their money. You see,
So, but the Hanafis say that is not the case. They hold a different opinion there.
the Hanafis say it's not obligatory to give zakat because it's the responsibility for the child. The child, when he's less than puberty age, therefore he is not asked to do anything. He's less than puberty age.
Mm-hmm. So, as soon as puberty is reached, then all schools agree on giving it. It's only
Yeah,
okay. Okay. Jazakallah khair.
exactly. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Jazakallah khair.
Now the hadith says the Prophet ﷺ, when he used to get people's money, he used to say, Allahumma salli alayhim. That means may Allah pray on them. How does God pray on somebody? That means it's like saying, may Allah be pleased with them, or may Allah put his mercy on them. Or some scholars say it means that he would mention them in the heavens near angels and stuff like that. This is derived from the Quran, where Allah Almighty says in Surah Tawbah, verse 103, وَصَلِّ عَلَيْهِمْ إِنَّ صَلَاتَكَ سَكَنٌ لَهُمْ. That means pray on them, because your prayer gives calamity for them. Okay? Sorry, not calamity. Sorry. Tranquility for them. Sorry. Astaghfirullah. I made a mistake. Yeah. So here, you can add other words. It's not only this word. You can say, Jazakallahu khairan. May Allah fertilize your money. May Allah bless you, bless your money, etc. in your language. You don't have to use only Arabic here. You can use your language so that the language of the people that understand you. I mean, so that they would be pleased with what you're telling them. They feel happy because you're taking their money or their property, and they have to feel that when they gave the property, they're gaining. They're gaining in the hereafter, and they would be gaining in this life as well. Okay, so this is what you can say. Now, scholars here say, are we allowed to say sallallahu alayhi wasallam or alayhi salam to anybody else rather than prophets and messengers? So can I say to the Sahabi, Abu Bakr alayhi salam, Ali alayhi salam, or whatever? Well, most scholars say, or many scholars say, it's not something that is used. I mean, you can say it actually, you can say that. But usually we say radiallahu anhum to the Sahaba, we say Azza wa Jal for Allah, and we say alayhi salam wa sallallahu alayhi wa for prophets and messengers. But actually, it happened that we said that to scholars and stuff like that. And we can find in the books many times when they say Ali alayhi salam, Fatima alayhi salam, Khadija alayhi salam, Maryam alayhi salam, Maryam, Mary, peace be upon her, alayhi salam means peace be upon her. Mary wasn't a prophet, but even though we say alayhi salam, and everybody says alayhi salam, why do we say alayhi salam she's not a prophet? So therefore we can say Khadija alayhi salam, Fatima alayhi salam, and it's in Sahih Bukhari, we find that. But many scholars said, well, this became a sign of Shia. And when it became a sign of Shia, therefore we have to avoid it. This is what they say. They say that it's like when you go wearing or dressing Shia dress. So people are going to say, well, you're Shia. So the same thing. These are terms of Shia. So just avoid that so that you show you're a Sunni, they're Shia. This is what others say. But actually, if it's right and it's not anything wrong, So what's the problem when we say alayhi salam or sallallahu alayhi or whatever? So these are opinions, yeah. No. But let's say if you just pray on somebody, somebody comes to you and you say sallallahu alayhi, or you say salamu alaykum. We say that. Don't we say salamu alaykum when we meet each other or when we salute each other? We say salamu alaykum wa rahmatullah. And the same thing is that when you Muhammad, when you say it with others, you say Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad. So you prayed on the Prophet ﷺ and his family. You see? So they say there's no problem if you just mention it with prophets or messengers. Anyway, this is the idea. And I use it sometimes even on somebody else rather than the prophets and messengers because I found our great scholars doing that. وعن علي رضي الله عنه أن العباس رضي الله عنه سأل النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم في تعجيل صدقته قبل أن تحل فرخص له في ذلك. رواه أحمد وأبو داود الترمذي وابن ماجه أو الحاكم. Yeah. Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anhu says that his uncle Abbas asked the Prophet ﷺ to give his zakat before its time. So he gave him the permission to do that. This hadith means, or we can derive from it, that you can give your zakat before its time if you need to do that. This is the opinion of the majority of scholars, Hanafis, Shafi'is, Hanbalis. And they said that this hadith is our evidence. And they say that if we have nisab, the money has nisab, but we don't have the year passing, so no problem, we have nisab anyway. When is this permissible? It's permissible on the money, on all types of money that have nisab or need nisab, but they need the year to pass as well. Which means you have nisab and you need money to pass, 1 year to pass. Okay? So there's no problem about that, according to these scholars. Shafi'is say you can give it more in before its appointments by 1 year. Hanafis say it's in general, even Hanbalis say the same thing. Because some narrations say that he gave the zakat of 2 years. Imam Malik said no. No one is allowed to give his zakat before time and before its appointments, before before the year passes. And they said we have many ahadith say that don't give zakat. You're not supposed, actually, it doesn't say don't give. It says you're not supposed to give zakat before the year. Okay? It says, for example, here, لا زكاة في مال حتى يحول عليه الحول. No zakat on any money until the year passes. But these narrations don't say you're not allowed to give it. They say you're not supposed to give. And there's a big difference between supposed and allowed. This is what the others would say. Okay? I think this is clear. Okay? وعن جابر بن عبد الله رضي الله عنهما عن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أنه قال ليس فيما دون 5 أوسق أواق من الورق صدقة وليس فيما دون 5 ذود من الإبل صدقة وليس فيما دون 5 أوسق من التمر صدقة. وله من حديث أبي سعيد وليس فيما دون 5 أوسق من تمر ولا حب صدقة. وأصل حديث أبي سعيد متفق عليه. Okay. Allah understand. Allah understand. Allah understand. Okay, I'm gonna be obliged to leave you after 5 minutes because I have something to do, but I can add it next time, inshallah, if you don't mind. If Sheikh Uthman is there, can you hear me?
Sheikh Uthman is sick. Unfortunately, he's having some chest
Oh,
problems, so he wants to
oh,
cancel his next class, inshallah, so we can all just leave the Zoom meeting.
okay, okay. May Allah be with him. May Allah be with him. Okay, look what this hadith says. There is no zakat in 5 uqiyya. I'm going to tell you what's uqiyya and what's from silver. No zakat on it. And no zakat on less than 5 camels. And no zakat on less than 5 awsuq from dates. No zakat on all of these. This is narrated by Muslim. Abu Sa'id al-Khudri radiallahu anhu says, ليس فيما دون 5 أوساق من تمر ولا حب صدقة. Abu Sa'id al-Khudri says there is a origin of this hadith, وأصل حديث أبي سعيد متفق عليه. Says there is no zakat on less than 5 wasaq from dates nor from grains. No zakat on it. Okay, what's uqiyya? Uqiyya, it's 40 dirhams. 40 dirhams from 40 dirhams, I said silver. And 40 divided by 5, what is it? It's going to be 200. So he wants to say less than 200. Less than 200 dirhams of silver, there is no zakah. I mentioned this before, but I just here he mentioned it in another way. So he said dirham in the previous hadith, and he said here uqiyya. And the camels here, he said less than 5, and we mentioned before that less than 5 camels, there is no zakah. Now, what is wasaq? Wasaq is 60 sa'. Sa'. What's sa'? Sa' is 4 mud. And mud is when you put your 2 hands full of anything. What's sa'? What's mud? How much is it? They say here that according to the Hanafis, 5 wasaq is going to be 1,092 kilograms. But the Malikis count it less than that. Less than that. It's nearly Malikis and all and the majority of all other scholars, Hanafis, Malikis, Hanbalis, they count it nearly 500. 18, 518 or 19 kilograms. 519 kilograms, nearly. So if you have this weight of dates or grains or whatever, this is the nisab of these types of things that you have to give from its zakats. Okay? Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad. This hadith is a very important hadith that gives us the weights of zakats. No zakats and less than 200 dirhams, we mentioned that, and this is something that all scholars agree about. No zakats on less than 5 camels, and we spoke about that again. And now the new information here is the zakat of grains and dates, barley, wheat, and all types of grains. And that's another story that we're gonna speak about later, inshallah, because what are the things that we have to give zakat on? That'll be inshallah what Hanafis don't say that there is any condition on there's no nisab according to the Hanafis on grains and fruits and all these types of stuff. No zakat on them according to them. But the majority of scholars say no, there is zakat. Hadith is so clear about that. I think I'm going to stop here, inshallah, until we meet, inshallah, next week. See you later, inshallah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa
Thank
barakatuh.
you very
Sheikh,
much.
do you have time for a question or two?
I'm so sorry. I reached to the place that I'm in. I have an appointment right now.
No problem,
So
Sheikh.
leave it
Inshallah.
later, and you can just send the question on my WhatsApp, and I'll answer you, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Or
Barakallah.
or Telegram as well. Yeah, you can share that with the students who wants to ask any question. Okay.
Inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ustad Uthman told me that he's not feeling too well. I guess he has pneumonia, so he's not going to be able to do the prophetology class, unfortunately. There is a classical medicine course with Jesse, but he's going to send a separate link for that on email. So may Allah make it easy for him and grant him a speedy recovery. Ameen. So I don't know who's the host right now, but we can just go ahead and leave the meeting. Inshallah. Jazakumullah khair.